It's Derby del Camino Real here tonight as El Paso visit the lab to take on New Mexico United. Week 13 of USL Championship action getting underway. Tyler Ortega here, joined tonight by Heather Dyke on the call. We're also joined for this pregame by our Spanish language broadcast team, Manny Esquivel and David Estrada. How are you guys doing tonight?
Thank you, Tyler. Estamos bien. El día de hoy esperamos un tremendo partido, no solamente porque es un clásico, sino también porque habrá buenas jugadas y también habrá sorpresas, David, esta noche.
Sí, algo muy lindo. Darle honor también a Devon Sandoval.
Así es.
Thank you, guys. Now, Coach, El Paso come in riding an 8-match unbeaten run, sitting second in the West, the black and yellow sitting just below the playoff line at 9th, but it's a rivalry match. Throw out the records, bundle all that up, throw it all out. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight.
That's what a rivalry is. It has nothing to do with who's winning or who's losing. It's who shows up tonight.
These two teams doing battle for the first time here tonight. They traded 2-1 away victories last season. Let's go ahead and look into our players to watch here, presented by the Somos Unidos Foundation. Manny, go ahead and kick us off.
Así es, hablemos de Lucho Soliñac. No solamente es un jugador rápido al frente, es un jugador que marca la diferencia. Un jugador, David, que si estás de acuerdo conmigo, va al choque y por lo regular gana al choque con los defensas. Este torneo no solamente van 6 juegos invictos, sino lleva 6 goles. Un jugador potente, pero también nosotros tenemos lo nuestro al frente y es justamente Wehan.
Sí, claro. All-time leading goal scorer, número 14, Chris Wehan. Someone who not only scores goals, but he's able to put players in good positions to score. For me, he's the guy that can make a difference tonight, and hopefully, obviously he was out for a few games out with injury, but he's a player that can make the difference tonight.
Así es, todo está listo para el clásico esta noche. We go back to you.
A big match at hand here tonight. Also off the field, the black and yellow will be honoring club legend Devon Sandoval here tonight. And so we're going to go ahead and step aside the 2023 New Mexico United season, presented by Sandia Resort and Casino. Close to home, far from ordinary.
Cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the. Wake up, get out the sheets. We came for one man, forget my peace. You take the west, I take on the east.
I landed my first trick at age 11. It's always been a family thing. Just the 3 of us, out skating the city. Albuquerque has heart. It lifted me up, all the way to my dream of skating in the Olympics.
The estimated hold time is now 96 minutes.
Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold.
Back here at the lab, kickoff just moments away. Tonight's match brought to you by Duke City Cares, your medical family. Let's jump into our starting lineups here, presented by Bud Light. Starting off first with the black and yellow. 3 changes for Zach Prince here tonight, Heather, with Kalen Ryden, Santi Moar, and Alex Wagner getting the start.
He's changing the look up a little bit, which you have to do during the season, but I think this is an exciting attacking group that can produce some great goals.
This one's going to be a lot of fun on the other side for Brian Clairhout. Just 2 changes from his side. Mark Navarro and Chapa Herrera getting the go instead of Miles Lyons, and Eric Calvillo missing tonight due to personal reasons. But this is El Paso Locomotive side coming off a bye week here, Heather. And, you know, when you're on an 8-match unbeaten run, you may not want that bye week to come.
Bye weeks can be a good thing and a bad thing. I mean, sometimes it's great to get the rest, and other times it ruins your momentum. But I'm sure these guys are hoping for the rest side of it and coming in here thinking they're going to get a win in New Mexico United.
So New Mexico United, of course, in their home black and yellow kits. El Paso in the road blues here tonight. This is the first Derby del Camino Real here of this season between these two clubs. Things all square between them in the all-time series. 3 wins, 3 losses, 7 draws. So will the scales tip to one side here after tonight? We shall see as we are underway here from the lab. Tyler Ortega alongside University of New Mexico women's soccer head coach Heather Dyke as Moreno immediately gets things started, and shaky moments early on from McHugh.
A little miscommunication. Sometimes you just put the ball in the box and you hope for the best, and to get a corner kick off that I think was a bit fortuitous.
Eric McHugh, the 22-year-old, a little bit of a missed touch there, and that's going to take us right into our very first Bank of America corner kick here of the evening. With over 4,600 locations, convenient banking is just around the corner, and so this is Justin Portillo lining this one up here for New Mexico. And immediately it's headed out. Moar giving chase, and it deflects. That one goes off of Moretti, and he goes down. Looked like it might have just deflected off his face there, so official Matthew Corrigan will stop play, and Moretti is greeted by Pobrecito chants from the supporters section.
They're coming early tonight. You know it's a rivalry game when it's the first play of the game and you already hear it, but this is the one that both fan bases want to win. You can hear it tonight from the New Mexico United curse.
So we'll have another look here at this TLC replay as it's exactly what happened. You can see the ball just skipped off of Moar right into the face of Moretti, and TLC, they're the leader in New Mexico when it comes to plumbing, heating, and cooling home and business service needs. Is Benny Diaz, the former Oakland Roots man. 13 appearances for Oakland last season. Kyle Colonna getting his first start here at the lab tonight. No Will Seymour for the black and yellow. Not the first start for Kyle Colonna, as he started last weekend in place of Kalen Ryden. Made his club debut actually against UDA in that 6-0 defeat in the U.S. Open Cup, where he played 90 minutes. Looks spectacular so far.
Ideally, you can put him into the rotation where you get Seymour and Ryden and a breather. So during the course of the year, you have 3 players playing 2 positions, and I think he's kind of earned that right.
This ball given away. Barry Swartz. This is back to the California native, Kyle Colonna. And Colonna scrambling, and the foul is called. So some nervy moments early on here. We'll get to our coaches spotlight here, brought to you by PNM. That is Zach Prince, boasting the highest point total in club history last season, 51 points for the black and yellow. It's his second year at the helm. Rehan to Moar. He's got Moreno making the run, finds the El Salvadorian, and this one takes a deflection, but the offside flag is up here on the near side. But still, New Mexico able to get some things working early.
You can tell it's a rivalry match. A little bit chippy early. You can see the nerves are high, the touches are a little bit off, but it's going to be that way all game until the teams settle in and start to identify the way that they want to play.
Moreno there with the left foot. First touch. At Diaz beat, but found the woodwork, and again, New Mexico applying some pressure here. Chapa Herrera. It's been coming off the bench as a second half sub here this season. He is getting the start here today. As we mentioned, Eric Calvillo missing tonight's match due to personal reasons. And so it's the second half of our P&M Coaches Spotlight. The El Paso gaffer, Brian Clairhout. His first year at the helm down at El Paso. Spent the last few seasons in Sweden.
A little bit of a change. Sweden to El Paso, a little bit of a change.
Slight change, but all things considered for Brian Clairhout, things off to a roaring start down south.
Very good start. And the team has an identity. You can see they're playing hard for each other. They have a great chemistry in the way they've played so far this season.
Paso, as we mentioned, unbeaten in their last 8 matches. And in fact, chalking up 6 straight W's coming into this one. Now, we'd like to remind everyone, last season when these two teams met, it was the first match, New Mexico going to Southwest University Park. And this one falls for Wagner. He's unable to get a touch, but the black and yellow went to Southwest University Park. They ended a 23-match unbeaten run there for the Locos. And El Paso able to return the favor when they came back down to the lab. Lucho Solignac scoring a brace. So it's time now for our 529 game update, brought to you by the Education Plan, New Mexico's state-sponsored 529 plan. Give your kids a better and brighter future. Learn more at theeducationplan.com. Ricardo Zacarias, the Las Cruces native. Noir asking for the foul, and he gets it. Fiesta Auto free kick. Austin Yearwood. Left-footed cross into the box, and it goes over the head of everyone. It'll be a throw-in here for the Locos. So Heather, off the pitch, we did mention in the pregame, it's Devin Sandoval night. The club is honoring the black and yellow legend, scored the first goal in club history, was the first player signed to New Mexico United. You know, when you think about it, Devin Sandoval was actually part of the club before they even had a head coach. And so that tells you just how integral in this club he was. Postician puts the cross in, and that one poked away by Colonna.
Yeah, I think, you know, New Mexico United has developed this fan base and this incredible culture and kind of united a state, and a big part of that was Devin Sandoval. And not only just his ability on the field, but who he is. He's an incredible person and community first kind of guy, and for him to come back home, I mean, to have a player come out of a small state like New Mexico in terms of population, play at the level that he did, and then have the opportunity to come back home and play in front of your home fans, it's incredible. And Devin deserves all the love and praise he's going to get tonight, and more.
Loire finds Wagner, tries to beat Benny Diaz, but Diaz all over that one.
And a New Mexico Lobo. We got to throw that in there, too.
Yeah, and I mean, you just look at the career that Devin Sandoval had, right? And it all started right here in New Mexico. As you mentioned, the El Dorado High School graduate here in Northeast Albuquerque. Went on to play a season out in California, then came back to finish his college career here just right across the street from us, actually, with the University of New Mexico men's program. Was then drafted by Real Salt Lake, the MLS Super Draft, spent some time at Rayo OKC, spent some time with the San Francisco Deltas, Atlanta United 2, before finally coming back home to wrap up his career. El Paso Locomotive fans are familiar with Devin Sandoval. Sandoval actually the joint top scorer for New Mexico against El Paso. He's notched 4 goals in his career against the Locos. That shot goes wide from Postician, and if you're wondering who he's tied with, it's Chris Weehan.
You know, you look at this field, though, too, talking about Devin and his impact on the community, and it's half these guys are from New Mexico, played in New Mexico, were Lobos. I mean, it's across the board, and it's because of the example that Devin set. And then you look at Alex Wagner starting at forward, and he's born and raised in New Mexico. It's a pretty special thing.
Zara Garcia Automotive Group keys to the game here for New Mexico. Honor the Sandoval grit, as we were just talking about. push back Luis Solignac and finish the halves strong.
Both teams playing a little bit direct, a little bit nervous right now. You can tell the energy's high. It's going to be fun to watch them settle down and try and establish something here.
Swartz plays this one back to Alex Tambakis. And if you're watching at home and just looking at this angle right now and thinking to yourself, something looks a little bit off, well, you're not going crazy. There was actually a small shift in the pitch for today's match. It's a 7-degree rotation. And so if you'll notice, they're no longer playing on the pitching mound and playing on about 30% less sod on the infield. And so you'll notice things just skewed off a little bit to the right, and that's how they're going to be from here on out. So the club making that announcement about 3 days ago. And, you know, for us, Heather, actually, we can see the entirety of the pitch here, I believe, for the first time in 5 seasons.
Yeah, I was just thinking for the fans, they might feel a little further away depending on where you're sitting, but for the players and for us, it's, you know, it's probably a better thing to not play on some of the sod that gets taken up and put down before each and every game. So it looks fantastic tonight. Beautiful field to play on.
10 minutes gone by here in this one. That means it's time for Amore Neapolitan Pizzeria to say thank you for 10 amazing years as New Mexico's first and only certified pizzerias. Bonetti playing the cross in, takes a touch off Gomez, and we've got a handball.
New Mexico United's coming out with a high line tonight, and you can see El Paso's early trying to get those balls in behind and kind of pull apart that back four. So something strategically from the coach, something in the game plan, but you can see early and often they're trying to find that space kind of in behind the back four and in front of the goalkeeper, which we'll keep an eye on as the game goes on.
Injury report here brought to you by Ben Sherman Law. Injured at work, Ben Sherman can help. 4 names there for the black and yellow. It's Christian Nava, Will Seymour, Josh Suggs, and it's Sergio Rivas. And that's not great if you're a New Mexico United fan to see the list of 4 players there, especially Sergio Rivas. Scored in 4 of his 5 previous USL Championship games. So you talk about a player that is in the sharpest of form.
Mm-hmm. Not great if you're a fan, not great if you're a New Mexican. I think 3 of those 4 were New Mexican players.
Right. Moar has that one blocked. Eric McHugh stepping in. The captain, Sam Hamilton, connects with Austin Yearwood. Hamilton and Yearwood, just a couple of 4 players that are still on this roster from day one. The others, in case you're wondering, Josh Suggs, Daniel Bruce. Rose finds Boretti. Back in the midfield, here's Kostishin. Gomez. Swartz sees this one out for a corner.
You can see early El Paso has a mindset in the final third to run at you. They're individually special on the ball. They have the green lights to take players on, and that's a difficult thing to deal with as a defender all game long, because you can stop 9 of them, but on the 10th one, then that player gets a breakaway. And I think that bravery is difficult to do. But you can see they're playing with a little bit of a swagger on their winning streak, and New Mexico United's going to be put to the test tonight.
Bank of America corner kick coming up here for the Locos. This one's sent in from Kostishin, headed away by Kalen Ryden. And as you were saying, from what we've seen, not just here tonight, but over the past really 3 or 4 weeks, are teams starting to make those runs at Harry Swartz. And you can see why. He does a lot of work offensively, getting up the field, and then he's got to get all the way back defensively.
It's a common trend right now, this idea of tactical flexibility where you attack in a different formation than you defend in. But players like Swartz, when you're playing a wing back and a right back, the amount of time and energy that you put into the run is difficult, and that fatigue takes a toll over the course of the game. So it looks like El Paso has identified that, and you know, they're going to try the best they can to put him under a little bit of pressure.
Eddie connecting with Solignac, turns it over. Hamilton comes away with it. Mexico will look to build from the back here. Paso come into this one unbeaten away from Southwest University Park. Meanwhile, New Mexico unbeaten here at the Lab tonight.
It's a tough place to play. You hear those fans, and you feel the energy, and you have the altitude, and it's no easy task to come into the Lab and try and beat New Mexico United.
There's a small contingent of El Paso traveling fans that made the trip up here to Albuquerque here tonight. Big shout out to some of them that are here. And we don't typically see a whole lot of traveling fan bases in USL Championship, specifically here to the Lab, and so always great to see when the opposition will bring some supporters. Adds to an already great atmosphere.
Yeah, it's what you want. You want to be a part of a league where people care. And I think that's one of the best things about the USL is that it tends to be in kind of smaller markets where the fans really can get passionate about what they do. And the more that grows, the better the league becomes. So the more fans that are here, the better. And the more we travel, the better. Like it's just a great thing when you have people that care so much about the team that they root for.
And you know, New Mexico United fans will be looking at the calendar for July when the return fixture back at Southwest University Park. You know, usually a fairly good-sized contingent of black and yellow fans will head down there. And got to give the Locos credit. They put on an incredible game day experience down there as well.
Yeah, it's a fun place to be. I've been down for a game now, and I had such a good time.
Moar. One looked like it was straight off the training ground. Moar just unable to get the touch.
I also have to give a shout out to Chris Hurst. He can't be there tonight, but I know he's up in Denver with his club team, so I've got big shoes to fill tonight. I know that.
Shout out to Hursty. We're missing you. You guys are watching, and wishing you guys the best of luck up there. Era spreads it out here. Boretti. Back into Chapa Herrera. Now the switch. Here's Navarro. Looking to connect with Solignac.
A little bit of rain coming in over the mountains tonight. It'll be interesting to see if that hits the field and how that impacts the game, especially the sod that's been laid down. But beautiful, beautiful night in New Mexico.
Yeah, and these clouds, they started to come in probably late afternoon, and it really started to cool things off here. And so luckily avoiding the rain so far. But yeah, as you mentioned, it's a beautiful evening here at the Lab. Moreno now connects with Weehan. The offside flag goes up, and Weehan thought he might have been onto something there.
You can see Weehan kind of sitting in a withdrawn 9 or a high 10, and those runs that he makes and the timing of it is one thing he's just absolutely unbelievable at. It's just very, very good identifying space and penetrating with his run.
And when poked away from Moar before he could drive a foot through it. Now El Paso looking to counter. Zacarias. It's a step over. He's got support arriving. Instead, as that one poked away from Kalen Ryden. Kostitian now. Solignac. And he just fires wide. Lucho Solignac, no stranger to scoring here at the Lab. Scored twice in this fixture here last season in what was a 2-1 win for the Locos. He scored in 5 of his last 7 matches coming into this one.
It's a player that Zach put up on the board before the game, and they identified and tried to find ways to slow him down. But when players find form and you have that confidence, that can be all the difference.
Solinak, the leading scorer for El Paso Locomotive, 6 goals so far. Mexico looking to cause some problems. Moar has that shot deflected, but the high press is starting to pay off here.
That's the third time now this game there seems to be a little bit of miscommunication between the goalkeepers and the 2 center defenders. And in New Mexico United, trying to think, how do you expose that? How do you put more balls into play and hope they're going to make those mistakes and see if you can't counter off of it? And Santi tried there. It was blocked, very well blocked by the El Paso defender.
$10,000 plus on hand here at the Lab, getting loud during the magic minute. Postmatch. Solinak. Out to Navarro now. Navarro was looking for Gomez. It's going to be a throw in here for the black and yellow. Swartz, the Boston area native. Swartz now marking Gomez. Solinak goes down, and going to call a foul against New Mexico here, so Fiesta Auto free kick. "22 minutes gone by here at the Lab. On Devin Sandoval night. Kestishin sending this one in. And Tambakis all over it. Moreno connects with Portillo. Former Richmond Kickers man Austin Yearwood. Again. Kestishin tracking back. Or he'll let it fly from there. Moreno has Swartz in space. So what are you seeing here from New Mexico, Coach?
Yeah, so El Paso is playing this very compact 4-4-2. And what New Mexico United is trying to do now is occupy spaces to attack in different lines. Can you fill in the half spaces and play in the pockets? If you play 2 flat areas, then the opposing team can make you move based on the way that they move. And you start to see New Mexico United like playing negative, so they open up that space. And then hopefully identifying those pockets and trying to identify those gaps in between where they're defending. But man, they are tight. They're very, very compact vertically and horizontally. So we'll see as the game goes on different ideas of how you expose that space.
Looks like a team that's on an 8-match unbeaten run.
It does. When you see an entire group moving as a unit, you know that team's bought into what they're doing, and that's very, very clear when you watch El Paso right now.
Moar off the restart. Here's the Spaniard, Santi Moar. OR has not scored at home yet this season. Somebody that was part of the inaugural season back in 2019 scored a few goals on this pitch. As Hamilton looked to connect with Weehan there as that one poked away. Right, and whiffs on that one, which you don't see too often. And now the break is on. Here's Castician. And Castician just mishits it. So people in the crowd having some fun there.
You mentioned the sod earlier. That may have had a little bit of an impact on that one. Some of that grass is long and uneven. That would be my excuse anyway, if I was playing.
Right.
It wouldn't just be that I hit a terrible ball.
Wagner, and the offside flag goes up.
Yeah, it's a smart run from Wagner, though. I mean, that's what you're going to have to do. If they're going to play that compact, you need someone that's going to stretch it with balls in behind and with runs in behind. And then that way, hopefully, you open up the pockets where you can find someone like Chris Weehan sitting in those areas. And you even see Santi kind of sitting a little bit lower, and I think that's what they're trying to do. Get them out of their comfort zone with that tight area.
No, and I'm actually surprised it took this long, but we're hearing our first "Where is Yuma" chants of the night from the supporters section. Now, I'm guessing they didn't see the pregame injury report, which would have notified them Yuma is out tonight. But if
or they
I'm
did see
sure
it, it just ruins their chant. You have to, pick and choose your battles here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He is missed by the 10,000 plus here at the lab.
When they stop cheering your name, that's when you have to worry about it. That's when you know that you're not doing your job.
The former La Liga veteran has plied his trade in El Paso for the past handful of seasons. Swartz goes to ground, draws the foul. Get another look here at this TLC replay, and Zacarias getting a little tough there. And this, Benny Diaz has to come out and make a play on it. That's about the third time in the first 28 minutes that he's been called into action.
When you play a high line, you have to expect your goalkeeper to come off the line, and I think the communication there matters. And with a crowd like this and the volume like this, that might be part of the reason for a few of the breakdowns. But that was an outstanding save. If he wasn't high there, I think we get a touch on it. You can see both teams now. The energy settled, the nerves are a little bit more calm, and that's a chess match. How do you exploit the other team's weaknesses and find your strengths? And right now, both teams are tending to go a little bit direct and see if they can exploit some of that space in behind. But the field is very, very compact both ways.
And what are you seeing from El Paso here so far?
Yeah, they're fluid in the way that they move, and you can see each player kind of has a comfort on the ball, which makes defending difficult. And then I think in the final third, they've just been told you have the green light, run at them, go for it, be creative, enjoy it. And that's what every player wants to do. They want to be in an environment where they have, the permission to play the way that they want to play. So you see that in what they're doing. You kind of see that in a little bit of their swagger. Every time they win the ball, they're pushing numbers forward, and then someone's always going to get it. And when you play a team with that kind of confidence, it can be difficult to break that. So it comes down to organization and making sure New Mexico United doesn't give up anything that, El Paso doesn't absolutely earn.
Well, and that has been sort of a thorn in New Mexico's side is leaking goals at crucial times. And here comes El Paso on the break. Solinac spreads this one out. Here's Gomez. And Gomez looked like he lost his footing as he let that one go. So a goal kick coming up here for Alex Tambakis. Going back to what I was saying there before that El Paso chance, New Mexico, they come in having conceded 15 goals through their first 10 games. And so when you break it down, 1.5 goals per match, it's hard to get 3 points when you're giving that.
Yeah, it has to be something that, Coach Prince and his staff are working on and the team cares about. Nobody wants to give up goals, and especially with the talent and the goalkeeping that New Mexico United has. They're creating the goals. Now you got to start to get some clean sheets. And I'm sure it's something that they're continuing to work on, but almost a chance there again. It's countermeasures. It's, you want to get forward, you want to go score goals, but you have to have somebody that's constantly thinking about how do you kill the gap? How do you have someone that sits in front of the opposing team's front three or front two and make sure that you don't have a direct opportunity for them to get forward?
And you mentioned putting it together and getting those clean sheets. New Mexico actually tied for last in the league in clean sheets. And it's just one, tied with Phoenix and Hartford. And that first clean sheet for New Mexico actually came on their first match of the season. It was the 1-0 win away to the Miami FC, as Moar is down here for New Mexico and trainer being called onto the pitch.
And the other part of that is that if you're winning games and you're scoring a lot of goals, I'll win a game 4-3. I'll win a game 3-2. I mean, if you're going to play this attacking-minded soccer and you're okay with the fact that you're going to give up other opportunities, then you have to accept that. And I think sometimes as fans and as people that watch the game, we want the stat line to look beautiful. But ultimately what you want at the end of the day is a win. And I'm sure Coach Prince would not worry about goals or not worry about giving up goals as long as you're winning games.
Right, but when you look at the numbers, you see just +1 in the goal differential.
Yeah, that's the key. So do you spend your time and energy making sure that you create more goals, or do you spend your time and energy trying to take them away? And both of those things are equally as important, but it's a tough call, and especially with some of the attacking players that you have on this team, like you don't want them to start to play this defensive style soccer. It doesn't suit them.
Well, and you look at this season, and you got to look at it as a whole, right? Like there's 30+ games in this season, 34 games in the regular season. New Mexico, they've only played 10. So you're really a third of the way into the season. You're starting to gel. You're starting to develop that chemistry with the new guys that are coming in, like Kyle Colonna, who's on the ball right now. And so now you're really looking to start hitting form.
This is not the point of the season you want to be playing your best soccer. I mean, you want to find ways that you stay in games, that you win games, obviously, because then the season will be short if you don't. But if all these steps are working towards an outcome that they're playing their best soccer at the end of the year, that's an okay thing. And again, as fans, you want instant results and you want the record to be perfect, and it just doesn't always work that way. Sometimes a patience game, kind of going, are we getting better and are we finding a rhythm? And I really think they are. I think there's a lot of players that are finding form. You mentioned Sergio Rivas earlier, who's out, but those things require experience, they require minutes.
Colonna fouled once again.
The dribbling out of the back center back is always a little frightening when you're in the coaching staff.
And I'm sure Colonna maybe told something there at halftime about that. He's tried it a couple of times now. Kastishin, the Ukrainian. Still Kastishin. Almost dribbled that ball to El Paso. As Ryden rises up off the volley there, Zacarias. That was blocked. Eventually Swartz able to clear the danger, but only momentarily. Bodies all over the pitch, and play on, says the official. Locos go all the way back to Benny Diaz.
It's difficult to play against a team that doesn't really have this structured format. And when you watch El Paso right now, the way they move and the freedom that the players have to get forward, it's hard. I mean, you have 10s running out all the way out onto the wide channel. You have, the 9s coming all the way back in. You have 6s getting high. And it makes it very difficult because it exploits spaces and it kind of opens up different opportunities for the team. But they're free-flowing in the way that they attack.
Eddie plays this forward for Gomez. Gomez scored 6 goals for the Locos last year, scored 10 for the Locos in 2021. Olignac lays this one off. Castillan, Navarro now. And Navarro sends that one over the crossbar. So what's going through your head right now, Coach?
They're creating overloads, and what they're trying to do is draw New Mexico United out, which they've done quite well, and then either drop in a 9 or push one of their 10s higher. And when you get that overlap of positions, it makes it difficult to find, but it's pretty effective. And then the other part of it is that the wide forwards, the 7 and the 11 for New Mexico United have to defend if they're going to throw their outside backs forward.
Castillan plays this corner short. Rose, cross. As McHugh initially and falls to Tambakis. Yearwood. Moore looks to be fine from that knock he took earlier. The Oklahoma native, Kalen Ryden. So New Mexico coming off a 2-1 defeat on the road at San Antonio last weekend. El Paso had a bye week last weekend, but before that, they defeated Birmingham Legion 2-1 in what was the first ever matchup between those two clubs. So Boretti getting a talking to here. Peter Boretti, the captain for this Locomotive side. 78 USL Championship appearances for the Locos coming into this match. Orator Boretti joined the club in the 2020 season. There's Rose. Navarro now. Yearwood looked to have eaten that one. Slowed him down for a moment, but he looks to be okay as Moreno has that through ball deflected. Yearwood almost able to come away with that. He and Castillan have been battling here through these first 38 minutes. And Moar able to get back on this one and play the cross in. Benny Diaz with a quick reaction.
You can see El Paso now, they're pushing their high forwards up wide and kind of trying to prevent Schwartz from getting forward. And to your point, not allowing Yearwood to play, and they're almost playing a 4-2-4 in the attack with 4 up high, which is just really difficult because each player then is isolated 1v1 if you don't have cover. On the other side of that, though, it's going to open up space for a player like Sante Moore to get forward when you get a ball forward, So risk versus reward.
Wind starting to pick up here. Still comfortable evening so far as the crowd really starting to fill out. First game of June, New Mexico, they haven't been back at the lab for 3 weeks. They only had 1 home game in May. And so now that the summer is coming up, a ton of soccer on the schedule. So New Mexico will be right back here at home 2 weeks from tonight. RGV in town, the Toros. It's Juneteenth on that one. You can head on over to SeatGeek, grab your tickets if you don't have them yet. I'm being told that inventory for that one is going pretty fast from what I understand. So here's Santi Moar. He can cut it in and shoot. Portillo finds Weehan, turns. It's going to be a Bank of America corner kick coming up here for New Mexico. '40th minute here at the Lab. Tyler Ortega, Heather Dyke on the call. Devin Sandoval night between New Mexico and El Paso Locomotive. There's Justin Portillo, New Orleans, Louisiana native. Zacarias gives chase, and it's going to be a throw in here for New Mexico. It's the captain, Sam Hamilton, is actually just going to leave that one. Swartz with the long throw. Portillo now. Moore draws the foul, and this one could be dangerous here for New Mexico. Looks like Moore and Portillo asking for a card. Instead, it's just going to be a Fiesta Auto free kick just outside the 18-yard box. Now, Heather, what would you like to see here?
I mean, you're trying to put a ball that you can finish on a one-time chance. I mean, that's the goal. When you're that close on frame, it's either a shot on goal or you're trying to give someone that they can hit it first time. But this is something I think Zach Prince is specialized. He's very, very good in set pieces. They're very well rehearsed before they get here. And we'll see what he pulls out of his sleeve here.
Watch Chris Weehan just walking away from the ball here.
Yeah.
Portillo standing over this one.
It doesn't look like he's shooting.
Portillo put in a beautiful ball just out of reach of Kalen Ryden. And I couldn't tell who the other New Mexico player that was going through the box there, but
outstanding play. It looks like they kind of set a few screens on the inside and ran across it, but so close.
Wagner and Ryden both going through and both just unable to get a touch on that one. So we remain scoreless here, 43 minutes in between New Mexico United, El Paso Locomotive, Derby del Camino Real. Played in, and Kalen Ryden has to just deal with it. And with these two, just never know what's going to happen. It was back during the 2020 season where El Paso play-by-play Duke Keith dubbed New Mexico the Kings of Chaos. It was a moniker which the club adopted and ran with. And then following that season, 2021, El Paso, they were actually the Kings of Chaos here at the Lab. They scored a stoppage time equalizer.
Heartbreaker.
It was Matt Boehner. And then again last year, El Paso victorious here at the Lab by way of a Lucho Solignac brace. Castician. And Castician lets this one go and just sends it wide as Tambakis was fully extended.
Really good numbers forward from El Paso there. You can see they're trying to create a 2v1 against Yearwood, and it worked there. And when you're isolated like that, you don't know if you're trying to take away the pass, and for him to cut across and hit that shot, I mean, heck of a shot. Really good read. Castician special on the ball.
Ukrainian Denis Kastishin. Spent the last 3 seasons with FC Alexandria. One ball played forward here. Gomez tries to track it down. A throw in here for New Mexico.
Yeah, and to your point, Tyler, you see El Paso trying to go direct early on set pieces over on Schwartz's side and see if they can't catch him out.
So 45 minutes gone by. That means we are in stoppage time, and it's just 1 minute of New Mexico Pinon Coffee stoppage time. Great coffee is a matter of opinion. Schwartz, a little bit of a heavy first touch there, but able to win the corner, and this one could potentially be the last opportunity of the half. Bank of America corner kick. Justin Portillo. Portillo plays this one in. Diaz, no problem there in front of his own goal. And that is halftime here at the Lab, New Mexico, and El Paso playing to a scoreless draw through the first 45. Coach, what did you see?
You know, I think the better opportunities for both teams came in transitional moments, like when you are in your set defense and you find a way to get forward quickly. But I think New Mexico United is going to have to do something to pull El Paso out of that organization. Like, they were very, very good, very disciplined. I don't think New Mexico United is going to feel like they did enough to pull them out of it.
So it's halftime. The score 0-0, presented by First Financial Credit Union. We'll step aside. We'll be back with halftime.
Since 1966, BIOS has provided quality appliances, electronics, and mattresses to Albuquerque and New Mexico.
And from day one, we've done everything as a team. Our commitment to our team, our community, and innovation has allowed us to serve Albuquerque and our surrounding areas for more than 50 years. We are proud to partner with New Mexico United,
Because both of us believe in the values of loyalty, service, and togetherness.
our longevity and growth is because we are united.
Somos unidos.
Flamenco is a language. Every step a verse, every movement a phrase. Born in Spain and expressed here in New Mexico.
Dime que sí, dime que no. Anda, dime primita de mi corazón.
Ludacris in concert.
Hands up! Get back! You don't know me like that.
One explosive night of his biggest hits. Friday, June 23rd at Sandia Amphitheater. Tickets on sale now at Sandia Resort and Casino box office or online at sandiacasino.com. The hottest show of the year, Ludacris. Friday, June 23rd, Sandia Amphitheater.
Part desert, part mountain, part river. Albuquerque offers outdoor exhilaration you can't find anywhere else. Spend the perfect day hiking, biking, or even hot air ballooning, all within minutes of a vibrant city. Whether you're exploring hundreds of miles of trails or hundreds of years of history, Albuquerque will take your breath away. Start planning your Albuquerque adventure at visitabq.org.
Halftime here at the Lab. It's Devin Sandoval night between New Mexico United and El Paso Locomotive. Halftime brought to you by Smith's, fresh for everyone, as we are scoreless here at the break, as we've got plenty to get into. 0-0 your score, brought to you by First Financial Credit Union. And so let's just go ahead and jump right into things here, starting off first with a look at our standings. Coming into today, El Paso Locomotive riding that 8-game unbeaten streak, 6 in a row in the W column, propelling themselves all the way up to second in the West. New Mexico, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, coming into this one just below the playoff line. But as we've seen, bundle all that up, throw it out the window. It's a rivalry match here tonight.
It's a rivalry match. Who's going to care more this half? Who's going to make the adjustments? And what player is going to come out and give us a special moment that wins the game?
This one has been a lot of fun so far here. Our news and notes from around the league. New Mexico United launching their 2023 Pride campaign. They've got tons of new initiatives, including some new merchandise and plenty of events throughout this month of June. So make sure, get out there, check them out. Birmingham and Pittsburgh advancing in the Open Cup, making their way into the quarterfinals. So make sure to check that out and support the USL Championship. And Indy 11 breaking ground on their new 11 Park. And if you haven't seen the renderings, they look absolutely incredible. I think an away day up to Indianapolis is in the cards one of these seasons coming up. Our schedule here on ESPN Plus, as we look around the league, Charleston Battery doing battle with Detroit City, Loudoun facing Tulsa. New Mexico will be hitting the road to take on Tampa out at Al Lang Stadium for the first time. The Black and Yellow making a trip out there. Loyal taking on Sac Republic. It's an in-state battle there. And then RGV versus Miami, and Phoenix doing battle with Oakland. Call that the Wangera Derby. Elsewhere, we've got some scores here from around the league. Rowdies beating Switchbacks 2-1. Battery putting up a clean sheet against the Toros 2-0. Oakland Roots also winning 2-0 against San Diego Loyal. And San Antonio beating New Mexico 2-1. Got the upcoming schedule here for the Black and Yellow, as we mentioned, on the road at Al Lang Stadium in Tampa next weekend, and then the following right back here for the Juneteenth match against RGV. It's a Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday affair here, as we're back on Wednesday to take on Phoenix Rising, and then Colorado Springs June 24th. It's Pride on the Pitch night. You better get your tickets now before they sell out. And then the return fixture back at Southwest University Park on July 1st as they travel down to take on El Paso Locomotive. Let's have a look here at our team of the week before we get out of here. That's Trey Muse, your eFootball Player of the Week, as he's joined here by Herrera, Philip Goodrum, Jack Gurr, among a few others. And so we're going to take a quick break. Again, scoreless here at the break between New Mexico and El Paso Locomotive. It's Devin Sandoval night.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
turned over. Babu Karchai to put it away. Phoenix Rising will take all 3 points. 3-1 to Rising. Halftime here at the Lab. New Mexico United scoreless against El Paso Locomotive. Halftime brought to you by First Financial Credit Union. So we've got plenty more to go, so let's just keep going here. We've got our first half stats brought to you by Duke City Cares, your medical family. And Coach, just looking early here, possession fairly even. New Mexico with a 3 offside so far. Not a whole lot doing, really.
Yeah, and you saw that in the game. I think the biggest difference there, as you see, is 7 shots to 2. Like Locomotive in the final third had a little bit more to them, a little bit more kind of bite in that final third, and I think that's something that I know, this rotation of forwards that New Mexico United is looking to find. What forward is going to be that bulldog in the box that puts it in the back of the net?
We'll wait and see here as the second half coming up momentarily. Before we get to that, we've got our first half highlights, so let's see what this one has looked like so far as our first half highlights brought to you by Ferguson Law Firm. We're here for you, and we're here to win, and things getting started early. This one was flagged for offside, but New Mexico, by way of Armando Moreno, getting things going. And you see El Paso coming back with some attempts of their own. Alex Tambakis did have to make one good effort. Didn't really have to make a ton of saves, Tambakis.
No, for 7 shots, there was nothing that Alex had to do to keep them in the game, and that's a good stat, because if you're going to give up shots but you're not giving up really highly dangerous ones, you can be okay there.
And that was a great angle of that cross that came in off the set piece there from Portillo that Ryden and Wagner had both just missed. As we mentioned, Devin Sandoval night here at the Lab. That is him being honored on the pitch alongside his family, supporters, and everybody else. That is the first player in club history, scored the first goal in club history, scored the first playoff goal in club history. You name it, Devin Sandoval did it. The Albuquerque native, the club legend, Devin Sandoval, now and forever. We're going to step aside. We'll be back with the second half after this.
National Roofing, serving New Mexico for over 45 years. From complete re-roofs to our 24/7 service department, let us help protect and extend the life of your roof today. We work with you every step of the way to solve your roofing needs quickly and professionally. Our team of roofers are always on top of it, bringing high-quality commercial roofing to New Mexico homeowners. National Roofing, local company, national name. Call 505-883-3000 or go to nationalroofing.com to schedule a roof walk today.
Well, folks, it's only 8 a.m. and it's going to be another hot one. Today's high is 85 degrees with lows ranging in the upper 50s. Tomorrow's more of the same, plus some light wind coming in from the northeast. Coming up at 8:30, Paul's got an exclusive
Babe, it's 8 a.m.
Fried chicken, better with Pepsi.
The estimated hold time is now 96 minutes.
Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold.
This is a story about creativity, education, entrepreneurship, and cookies.
Well, mostly about cookies. Want to try one?
Kristen, where'd you learn to bake?
My grandma was my first teacher. She told me it was okay to be creative and take risks.
Like what?
Like green chili cookies. I haven't quite cracked the code on those yet.
Bummer. Was it a risk to open a bakery?
Definitely. But CNM gave me the skills to turn that passion into a reality.
That's amazing. At CNM, it's one college, infinite possibilities.
Still halftime here at the Lab. 0-0 your score, presented by First Financial Credit Union between New Mexico United and El Paso Locomotive FC. As the Devin Sandoval festivities are done, players making their way back out onto the pitch as New Mexico Sends off one of their legends in style here tonight. And as we mentioned earlier, Devin Sandoval with 4 career goals against El Paso Locomotive in black and yellow. Only Chris Wehan has scored just as many. As there is Chris Wehan talking with Harry Swartz, figuring out how exactly they're going to break this deadlock here going into this second half. As we're just looking at some of the numbers here. And, Coach, one thing that really stands out to me as we look at some of these numbers, Alex Wagner had just 4 touches in the entirety of the first half.
He's a player who's special. He's got good speed. He's very good on the ball. But when you play with that high of a line, it doesn't really open up a pocket for him to find it unless there's some kind of movement that's going to pull it apart. So, yeah, I think this half you'll start to see some different movement between, the 9 and the 10, which in that half was Wehan and Wagner, and hopefully that gives him a few more touches because he's special when he gets it.
So El Paso making their way out onto the pitch, and El Paso, they really started to take control as the first half wore on. They attempted the last 5 shots of the first half, with the final shot being taken by New Mexico by Santi Moar in the 20th minute.
Yeah, there's going to be some changes this half. I think it's either going to be tactical or just asking for a response from players and kind of saying, can you match their swagger? Can you match their energy? Can you find some players that want the ball in the final third and are going to do something special with it?
You can see 76 degrees here. It's a little bit of a breeze out. It's a beautiful night. There's a rainbow as we look out east towards the Sandia Mountains. That is the stuff that pictures are made of there. And what is this I'm hearing? What is it, the 0.5 is what I'm being told now?
The 0.5.
The 0.5.
Yeah,
For all your iPhone users, use your 0.5. We're just about ready to get back underway here. Both teams on the pitch. El Paso in the center circle. That's Las Cruces, New Mexico native Ricardo Zacarias, ready to get things underway. And so here we go, second 45 underway here at the Lab. Here's Navarro. Spaniard Mark Navarro. Previously with Watford. Bonetti connects here with Gomez. Hamilton. Swartz now. Back to Yearwood. Portillo. Wagner looking to make a break, and Wehan will play it back.
New Mexico United's going to have to do something to get them out of this comfort zone. Like if you watch El Paso right now, nobody has to sprint, nobody has to move much. They're very comfortable playing in this kind of compact 4-4-2. And you wonder what adjustments at halftime are going to be made to question it.
The flag stayed down there for Alex Wagner. You mentioned just 4 touches in the first half for the teenager. He's got to find a way to get himself involved here.
It's almost just you kind of want to let the leash off of him and let him run. I mean, he can run all game long with teenage legs on him. So we'll see if he can find a little bit more ways to be impactful this half.
Zacarias looks to be holding his wrist. Looking for Gomez, and Swartz is there. Swartz just looking to draw the foul. And not a whole lot going forward for New Mexico through these first 3.5 minutes of this second half.
I think the key to for them is to find the weak side pocket space. Like if you look right now where Chris Wehan is, they have a difficult time defending that. There's 2 6s and they have to cover the entire width. So can you find that ball instead of playing so direct? Can you find that ball in the space underneath and then let Chris turn and play? And then you have Alex and Santi and Moreno getting forward, and those 3 are special. But you need to find someone that can receive a ball in a higher position and turn and face forward.
Good touch from Gomez. The offside flag is up.
When you play a team that plays in such a compact mid-block and they're so organized in that, I think sometimes it lulls you into a sense of like you play at the pace that they're defending at. And I'd love to see New Mexico United start to move the ball quicker than they can slide. Can you move the ball faster than that midfield forward can defend, and then hopefully penetrate and get forward into the pocket space instead of the space behind earlier? That looked like a handball to me.
No call there from our official Matthew Corrigan. Colonna heads this one down. California native Kyle Colonna, the former captain of the San Diego State Aztecs program. Colonna, his dad's in town from California to watch him play tonight. It's always great when the parents are able to make it out, experience a match at the lab for themselves.
Nothing better than seeing your kid, achieve a dream and play professional soccer, and especially on a night like tonight when the sky is just beautiful. Now they just need to try to get the win. Send them home happy.
The Yearwoods are also in town from North Carolina here to watch Austin play tonight, and so be a couple of happy parents leaving. Here's Boretti. Boretti finds Gomez. And this one falls to Zacarias. Still bouncing around. Zacarias with the bicycle. And somehow El Paso does not score there.
He was looking for the ESPN highlight goal. He almost had a hand of it, but that second save and second balls in the box are always so difficult. And anytime there's a shot, you want to try to just make it one. They got 3 there.
That was the initial. It went off the back of Lucho Solignac's head, it looked like. And then the full bicycle kick. Go figure we'd see a bicycle kick attempt on Devin Sandoval night.
He was celebrating. He saw it in the New Mexico United logo, and he figured he'd give it a shot. He's a New Mexican.
And for those that may not be aware, New Mexico actually released a Devin Sandoval shirt where they have Devin Sandoval in the crest doing a bicycle kick. And so that was perfect.
It's a pretty special thing when you're silhouette. You don't even have to explain what it is, and New Mexican fans know that was Devin.
It's either the bicycle kick or the dreads on the silhouette.
Absolutely. The dreads are probably even clearer, more clear.
This game's still scoreless.
Devin told me he came home after he cut his dreadlocks off, and even his own kids didn't recognize him. They were such a signature for his look.
So we've got some score updates for you here. The top right corner of your screen, Memphis putting up 4 past Miami, 80 minutes in. Paso still knocking on the door here. Gomez takes another shot. 4 shots so far for Gomez in this game, as the header just goes wide. It did not miss by much. And El Paso with some meaningful possession here early in this second half.
They release both outside backs in every attack. And when you do that, and all of a sudden you're put in a position where you have to defend every time. And you see on that one, Moreno just a little bit slow to recover, and you have a 2v1 against Yearwood, and they find a way to get a shot on goal.
There's Gomez once again. Lays this one off for Solignac. And one player whose name we have not said a lot tonight is Armando Moreno.
Yeah, he's created some pretty magic moments since coming back from his injury. Trying to find him on the ball and let him kind of give him that freedom a little. It seems like tonight he's more looking to be, the direct running player, and I'm not sure that's necessarily his specialty.
Oh, we saw him early. I believe it was the first highlight we had. It was him making the offside run that did beat Benny Diaz, rattled it off the post, but aside from that, not a whole lot doing from the El Salvadorian. McHugh plays this one out. There's Navarro. Navarro was with Watford the season that they were promoted from the Championship to the Premier League. He made 6 appearances. The Spaniard comes over to El Paso, asking for a handball, not going to get the call on Moreno. Goes all the way back to Diaz. Diaz showing off his juggling skills. Things getting a little stagnant here for New Mexico. As we look down to the technical area, a couple of subs getting ready to make their way on. Offside flag is up.
I think you're just looking for that spark right now. You're looking for someone who's going to do something a little bit different, bring some energy, put a hard tackle in, something that kind of changes the flow of the game for both teams. Both teams kind of have this even tempo right now, but who's going to be the special player? Who's going to be the one that wants the ball in that magic moment?
Here's Kyle Colonna. New Mexico just content to dink it around the back line here.
You have to find a way with your movement that pulls El Paso out of their comfort. So the back four sits where they are. You have to have somebody that checks in. You have to have someone that finds a pocket. And then what that creates is space for another player to run. And if all 3 players are standing stagnant, it's difficult to do. It just becomes very direct with no meaning. So it'll be interesting to see if you can start to get Wagner coming in, starting to get, Santi checking off, and then the other players can identify that space. But right now, it's just not enough possession in that midfield third. This is better from them.
Moore has made his way all the way down into the center of the park. Yearwood's pushed forward. Hamilton finds Moreno. Swartz now. Swartz gets it back. He's got options. And Swartz plays the cross too long there, and Castillan sees this one out for a throw, and we're going to have a couple of subs coming up here for New Mexico. And so we're going to see the Scottish forward Greg Hurst and the Englishman Josh Dalling both entering the match here for New Mexico. Those substitutions brought to you by REDW CPAs and Advisors. There's no substitution for integrity, as that is going to be the end of the night for Alex Wagner and Armando Moreno.
A very different look now for New Mexico United. You have a target forward, and hopefully he can find his feet and then see if he can't, bring Chris Wehan more into the game, bring Greg Hurst into the game, but have somebody who's a post-up forward.
Well, and Dalling, he's a good playmaker there. He's first New Mexico United player to pick up 3 assists in one match. Not often do you see a guy wearing a number 9 do that.
No, but it is his role. I mean, the way he sits and he creates for others, it's an impressive thing, but he can do it for himself too. Maybe tonight he'll be the difference maker.
Moar was surrounded by 5 blue shirts there. Rose finds Castillan. Bonetti. There you can see it. The substitute fresh legs of Greg Hurst applying some pressure. Castillan. What a touch there from Castillan. And eventually squandering possession.
I think Dalling knew he was offside and held the run there. Smart.
Wehan was just trying to chip one forward. McHugh with the ball at his feet here. An hour gone by here at the lab. Half an hour remaining in this one. Scoreless so far between New Mexico United and El Paso Locomotive. Derby del Camino Real 2023 Part 1. The return fixture in less than a month. July 1st down at Southwest University Park. This ball bounces out to Moar. Here's the Spaniard. And Moar taken down. No, says the official. As New Mexico comes back in possession, but Moar is down.
Tough to tell from here. It did look like you had a step on him and he kind of got pulled, but the ref says no.
TLC replay here. Moore just working out that right shoulder there. So here we get another look at it. What do you think, Coach?
He does get the arm across him. Tough call. Tough call. What do you think, Tyler? We missed one there?
I don't know. I think Moar knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, he was looking to draw it for sure.
He did look like he was beginning to go down a little bit. So we're back underway with the drop ball in New Mexico. We're in possession.
These are the times that we're happy we're not the ref. That's a tough one. It's a tough one to make.
Yeah, we get to sit up here and say what we think without no actual real repercussions,
Yeah,
right?
or no one yelling at us.
Exactly. We might get a few tweets here and there, but you can always mute accounts, whatever the case is. Throw in here for the Scotsman, Greg Hurst. No, he's actually going to leave that one off for Swartz. So for Greg Hurst, 2 goals so far for New Mexico in league play. He does have 1 goal in Open Cup play. That Open Cup goal actually coming across, coming against his former club in Phoenix Rising.
See Hurst here trying to find it a little bit in the half space.
Hamilton was looking to connect with Hurst there.
Diaz again a little shaky with his distribution.
And that's sort of been an issue all evening so far, as we've got a couple of subs coming up here for the Locos. Miles Lyons and Emmanuel Sanupe. Those substitutions brought to you by REDW CPAs and advisors. There's no substitution for integrity. So New Mexico native Ricardo Zacarias, his night is done, as is Mark Navarro, the Spaniard. So as we mentioned, Sanupe and Lyons coming on. Sanupe, coach, he began his career actually at Tottenham Hotspur. Playing his trade down in El Paso now for the past couple of seasons. Look at us, a couple of Tottenham fans sitting in a booth together.
It's hard to say fans right now, Tyler.
That's
it's hard
fair.
to say fans.
That's fair. So it's really cool to see, you know, the level of the USL Championship has risen to, and you've got former Tottenham players, former Watford players.
Yeah. When you have players playing at the highest level coming over to play in the United States, and they're not directly in the MLS, it's a great sign. It's a testament to the league that they want to be here, and it's a high level soccer, and it's exactly what you want to have happen is the parity.
You know, and it's also good for the development of the youngsters. You know, where else is a guy like Alex Wagner going to get the experience of playing against players like this?
Completely agree. And you didn't have that before. And the success of the USL across the entire country is, you know, it opens the players' eyes so that they can be more than what they used to think they could do. Especially with the USL women now coming as well. I mean, that's an exciting piece of it too. Like right now, there's only a very limited opportunity if you're a female and you want to play professional soccer. And I think the USL is going to unlock more opportunities, and that's exactly what you want, because when you have that, the game grows.
Some really, really bright stuff on the horizon with the league is New Mexico. There's been chatter about them bringing in a women's team whenever they have a stadium, and so just again providing that pathway for New Mexicans.
Half the young kids here are women, and
right.
you want for them to show up and be able to see people that look like them and know that they can aspire to be more. And you know, I think New Mexico United, if and when they do get a USL team, they're going to kill it just like they've done this. And you know what? The little boys are going to show up to that game too, because it's just a culture.
Well, and it's something that, you know, that we see already, especially with your program, the UNM women's program. You know, I'm fortunate enough to call some of your games as well, and there's just as many little boys out there as there are little girls. And it's
what you want. Yeah, you want people to enjoy soccer, regardless of the gender. You want them to come out and enjoy the event and enjoy watching a game they love and people they love, and not worry about whether that's men or women.
Got a stoppage here. Matthew Corrigan having some discussions. So Fiestado free kick coming up here for New Mexico. There's Moar. Moar looking to thread one through there for Wehan. Benny Diaz has been up to the task so far here tonight. So foul called against New Mexico.
Dalling's come on and brought a good energy. You see him chasing things down and putting pressure, back pressure on the midfield like he's doing here, and it's causing the speed to increase, which is exactly what you want. You want, El Paso to feel the pressure. So it'll be interesting to see if he can keep doing that and sustain it for a little bit longer here.
Subs getting some work down on the at the technical area there for El Paso. Be curious to see what other changes they make here over the last 22 minutes and change. This one falls for New Mexico. As Wehan has that one taken off his feet. And that's going to see us into the 70th minute. In the 70th minute of this match, brought to you by REDW, an Albuquerque-based CPA firm celebrating 70 years of keeping New Mexico moving forward. Mexico looking to break. Moore has plenty of space. Got Dalling in support. Moore, Santi Moore, and almost took the deflection there. I don't think Dalling was expecting the cross.
Yeah, I think he thought maybe Santi was going to take one more touch, but it was a heck of a cross. I think if Dalling would have taken off a half step earlier there, he could have slotted that one in the near post.
Here's our TLC replay, and you can see the touch there from Moar, and actually looked like the defender able to get in front of Dalling. So there's Pavkovic. Still, that's a good sign there if you're New Mexico. Here's Gomez. Plays it out for Bonetti. Cross in. And there it is, the breakthrough goal. Dennis Castician heads home for El Paso. And the visitors take the lead here in the 71st minute. And the Lab is stunned.
Very similar plays on both sides. You have Santi get in line over here for New Mexico United, and the very next play. Excellent 1v1 play, good early run, and the only difference is El Paso they got on the inside shoulder. Their forward knew when the cross was coming, kind of better timing there, and an excellent finish from El Paso to take the 1-0 lead.
That is the Ukrainian Denis Castician scoring his 3rd goal of the campaign in his 12th appearance here tonight. The 25-year-old heading home here on this TLC replay. And you were asking, Coach, coming out of the halftime break, who is going to be that player to step up and create that moment of magic?
Yeah, that's it. That's in between two New Mexico United players. Kaylin Reiner's outstanding in the air. It's difficult to do. It's just a commitment. It's saying, I'm going to be the player that's going to do something special tonight.
Castician ran over, grabbed the flag of his native Ukraine, and celebrated the goal here. And that's going to make for these next 20 minutes. Well, they just got a lot more interesting.
You got to go now. You got to take some chances. You got to put numbers forward. Losing 2-0, who cares? Let's try and tie it up. Take some chances and see if we can't break apart their line.
Just looking down at the bench area for New Mexico. Daniel Bruce starting to warm up. As he's wanting to make his way back from injury, Daniel Bruce. Here's Moar. Finds Dalling, and the flag goes up. Offside on the Englishman.
My guess is they call a kick here now. Advantage.
But it's going to be a Fiesta Auto free kick. You were right.
Well played by the ref. Let it go, see what happens. Wasn't it advantage and call it back. Very smart play by the referee. I don't say that often, so when I do, I have to mean it.
Coming from a head coach. That is Daniel Bruce. He's already got his match top on, and so I would anticipate it's not very long until we see another Englishman gracing the pitch in black and yellow.
Well, and you talk about a spark kind of player and someone who's been out for a while now for New Mexico United, but if he comes in, this place is going to get electric, and he'll respond with his energy. He could be just the player they need right now.
Daniel Bruce with the most appearances in club history in all competitions. As Boretti taking exception here from one captain to another, and now Matthew Corrigan is going to come over and have a word. They hugged as if to show the referee it's okay. Like, can we play now?
Right after Kyle patted him on the head, which I'm not sure is something anybody wants to have happen to them. Really, really high line. There's a lot of space right now in between Paso's defensive line and their goalkeeper, and if you can get a right-time ball, there's a chance here.
Here's Portillo. And New Mexico were able to get ahead on it. I believe it was Kyle Colonna. And it fell to Diaz. There's Boretti and Colonna both on the ground. And this is not a good sign if you're New Mexico. Obviously, never like to see injuries, but New Mexico very, very thin when it comes to defenders. They don't have any defenders on the bench.
No, they are, and in this game, you want to use those substitutions to put in attacking players. So if you're going to have to sub a defender, it kind of kills your opportunity to potentially put one more spark in up top.
Some homemade fan art down there in the supporters section. And so 75 minutes gone by as we are delighted to announce tonight's attendance figure brought to you by New Mexico Mutual. 11,247. That is the largest of the 2023 season here at the Lab so far.
And they're all going to cheer on Daniel Bruce right now. It sounds like a boo, but it's not. They're yelling Bruce, welcoming Daniel Bruce back to the field.
And so the Englishman, Daniel Bruce, makes his way on as he'll replace Kyle Colonna, who was replaced there after looked like he may have picked up a knock on that set piece. Either way, Daniel Bruce, Josh Dalling, Greg Hurst, the three substitutes for New Mexico on the pitch right now. Those substitutions brought to you by RADW, CPAs, and advisors. There's no substitution for integrity.
Hurst tucks in here a little bit, and then Brucey comes on out wide.
Hurst and Dalling were really starting to develop some chemistry there for a stretch of games, and then Wagner came in, got hot, and really just took the spot. I'll be curious to see how these two, how they gel together here over the last 15 minutes. And Gomez almost had an insurance goal. Instead, it's a Bank of America corner kick coming up here. But things almost went from bad to worse there for New Mexico.
Yeah, the quick early ball across the face of the back four for New Mexico United, and they just exploit that space out wide. But they've been doing that all night. There's a lot of space to play there, and those players are special on the ball. They're excellent 1v1 players.
That's the goal scorer tonight, the Ukrainian Denis Kastishin. That one deflected out. It's going to be a goal kick.
Paso doesn't look too content to sit on a one-goal lead. They're still pushing numbers forward and looking to, get the solidifier and put two away. But this is the time now where New Mexico United needs to take some chances, start to push numbers forward, start to really create some mismatches, and if not, you have to be content with the loss.
Well, in El Paso, they know a 1-0 lead is not safe. In fact, in their last match, they gave up the first goal. Juan Agadello scored for Birmingham, put the Legion up, and then El Paso came from behind, scoring 2 straight to win 2-1. So as you mentioned, Coach, on the lookout, on the hunt for that insurance goal here tonight. Under 12 minutes remaining plus stoppage. It's the first Derby del Camino Real here in 2023.
Paso's so good in their build-out. They're very, very good in their movement and their patience and kind of breaking a press apart. So I think it's made it difficult for New Mexico United to try and get more numbers up in the press because it keeps getting broken.
Portillo. Haven't said his name a whole lot tonight either. Schwartz now. A handball. Called against Oreri. And so Fiesta Auto free kick coming up here for New Mexico. Freehand with the left, Portillo with the right. We're going to play it short. Portillo sends this one in and right to a defender. Paso breaking now. As Castician was waiting at the back post. He's on a brace.
Yeah, the difficulty with set pieces, especially when you try and take them short, is you have to gain a competitive advantage. And I know there they kind of saw maybe they have numbers up, but when the cross is under hit, you put yourself in a really dangerous situation for transition, which El Paso took advantage of there. When you have Kim riding forward and you have so many of your back players high, it can be difficult. Portillo will want that one back. Normally he's outstanding with his service.
Shot attempt blocked there by Hurst. Don't typically see Portillo getting up for a header too often.
No, you don't. You don't.
Under 10 minutes left here. New Mexico really need to get something going.
I think if they're going to do it, it's going to have to come out wide. All the players essentially are just not calling their name a whole lot tonight. You're not seeing much from Portillo, who normally is such a good playmaker. You're not seeing a whole lot from Weehan. Wagner coming off. They've taken away the central channel of the field. So maybe the idea is to create wide, like some width and create overloads out wide and see if you can't pull them out wide so the central channel opens up. Which might be what they're doing right now with Santimore playing very, very wide, and see if they can't kind of pull apart that structure.
Moir still going here in the 82nd minute. His legs were looking a little heavy in the 60th. Rehan has sunk all the way back to midfield just to get a touch. Not often do you see Kalen Ryden miss-hit one like that.
No, he has a special left foot, and those big diagonal balls are something that New Mexico United's made a living on. But you do see right now Daniel Bruce is really trying to get out of his normal position and come across and play centrally and do some things to unbalance El Paso's defense. We'll see if that doesn't open up a little bit of space potentially for Dalling or for Hurst.
Daniel Bruce, who we have not seen since the Open Cup match against Phoenix Rising, where he did suffer that left arm injury. You can see he's wearing a cast on that left wrist. Now Boretti is down, and Yellow card going to be shown to Daniel Bruce. Yellow cards brought to you by Ferguson Law Firm. You've been fouled. Call Ferguson Law Firm, New Mexico's leading personal injury attorneys for over 40 years. Bruce did not agree with the call there. And in the last 10 minutes, it's a rivalry match. You're nursing a 1-goal lead. This is, dare to say this is a little bit of gamesmanship.
Yeah, on the other side of it is it's good to see it might be a little bit of a harsh, like the very first foul of the game was a yellow. But at least he's running through a tackle and trying to do something. And sometimes, like right now, you hear the crowd getting a little bit annoyed, and maybe that gives him a little bit of a spark, a little bit of light underneath him, and kind of, you know, gets the rest of the guys around him to hype up a little bit. It looks, too, like New Mexico United has shifted what they're doing a little bit here, and it might just be that Weehan was out of position there, but getting Weehan like 2 10s almost, 1-6 with Portillo sitting more central and putting Weehan and Hurst as 2 10s underneath Dalling.
And Hurst, they started him out as a 9, but we really saw him start to flourish when they set him up as more so like a high 10, a false 9.
Yeah, there's players that, I mean, it's difficult when you think about it. If you're always receiving a ball back to goal, that's a special skill set, and some players are just far better receiving a ball where they can face the opponent's goal. I mean, Chris Weehan is one of them. You do not want Chris Weehan facing you with the ball at your feet unopposed. He's special at it, and I think Greg Hurst has shown that he's a propensity for being very good at that as well.
That corner kick dealt with by New Mexico, and Paso in no hurry for this throw in here. Little surprised it's taken the crowd this long to find an opposition that they wanted to boo every time he touched the ball. No Yuma, as we mentioned, so it is Boretti now after he spent some time on the ground. This ball goes into the box dangerously. Here's Lyons tracking it down. Chaparrera. Back to Lyons. Yearwood deals with the danger.
Good opportunity here for New Mexico United. They have numbers if they can move the ball quickly.
Here's Moar. He's got Dalling, Bruce in support. Still Moar. Comes back to the Spaniard. Now Weehan. Looking for Dalling there, but it's dealt with by Pavkovic.
I think Santimora will want that one back. When you get that fast break like that and your touch comes negative, you actually give the opportunity for the opposing team to get numbers behind the ball, and I think, you know, if he takes that touch in line, he probably gets across kind of unopposed to a forward there.
Here's Bruce. Looking for Dalling, and it's headed away. But New Mexico now, they understand it's go time. 87th minute. Jose Sosa, Andres Robles, the 2 unused substitutes on the bench right now for Zach Prince. A couple of midfielders. Sosa out of UCLA. Andres Robles, the New Mexico United Academy product. Here's Moar. Cuts it into Weehan. Dalling. Moar goes down looking for a penalty. And I think he knew that he wasn't going to get it, so he got right back up. Portillo wins the header. New Mexico still attacking. Asking for the handball, and they're going to get it. A free kick coming here. Outside the 18.
Some exciting play from New Mexico United there. Some committed runs forward, some really good dynamic movement. They earned the free kick. Now they got to do something special with it.
Moore, you can see, trying to win a penalty there. Not a whole lot. But this could be a great opportunity here for the hosts. There's our official Matthew Corrigan here tonight. And for it being a rivalry match, the tension, he's done a great job at keeping things under control so far. So it's Weehan. He's dangerous from this type of distance. He's hit one from a similar position here. I believe it was last season. There's Weehan. And Weehan sends this one into the supporters section. Looking to break the tie with Devin Sandoval on Devin Sandoval night for most goals scored against El Paso in New Mexico United club history. Instead, those two will still be sitting at 4 apiece.
You have to think there's going to be a good chunk of extra time here. There's been a lot of dead play in the second half here, so hopefully there's still a chance for New Mexico United to fight back in, but it's been a great game.
So yellow card issued there to Chapa Herrera, brought to you by the guys over at Ferguson Law. So as we approach the end of the 90-minute mark, being told that there are 5 minutes of New Mexico Piñon coffee stoppage time. Great coffee is a matter of opinion. Dalling able to get a touch here as New Mexico looking to get back to their Kings of Chaos phase with a stoppage time goal here tonight. Yearwood. Cross goes in from Moar. Dealt with by Pavkovic. Here's Hamilton, the captain. Moar. We've seen a lot of the ball in the second half as Santi Moar. Hamilton over to Swartz. And Daniel Bruce got on his bike but missed. We've got a foul called inside the 18.
There's no way he's getting up anytime soon.
Looks like it's Castishan that's down. We're going to see a substitution here for El Paso. Midfielder Diego Abarca. The 17-year-old out of El Paso is a product of the Locomotive Academy. He's got a birthday coming up here in just a couple of weeks. Turning the big 1-8. Not a bad way to get a little bit of a pre-celebration here.
Such a special thing when you have, homegrowns making their, not debut, but getting to play for their team. It's just special both ways. So good to see him out in the field, especially at such a young age.
Second appearance for Diego Abarca in his career. Second professional appearance, I should say. But yeah, what a place to come on, right?
Welcome to the rivalry. Get it bred into him early.
In front of 11,247 here at the Lab in stoppage time with a 1-goal lead. You know, Brian Clairhout's not just putting anyone out there at this time.
No, you have to have a lot of faith in the young player to put him into this game, and a lot of hope for the future. You're going to put him in and hope that it kind of tests him a little bit so next time he's ready to go.
So still 90 seconds left of stoppage time of the minimum of 5 added minutes.
You got to take a chance now. You have to throw numbers forward. You have to get the ball forward early. The passes shouldn't be sideways or back. Like, take a chance here and see what happens. Put balls forward.
I don't think that's what they had in mind there, as that ball goes straight to Benny Diaz.
You've got the big target in Dalling. You have a lot of players underneath him. If they can find one ball that he can just set down to those players underneath in that space, maybe they get a chance forward.
Another substitution here. It's Lalito Moreno. Substitution brought to you by REDW CPAs and advisors. There's no substitution for integrity. You can see the United players, their hands up asking what's going on.
The substitution, a lot of time wasting. And it's exactly what they'd be doing if they had the lead. It's all part of it.
So El Paso looking to see this one out here for a big 3 points. Make it 7 straight wins, 9 straight unbeaten. And now the yellow shown for time wasting. Yellow card brought to you by the guys at Ferguson Law Firm. El Paso also looking to stay unbeaten here at the Lab since 2019.
It's not an easy thing to do.
They suffered a 3-0 loss in their first time out here. But since then, a couple of draws in 2021. They picked up the win that we mentioned last year. Looks like they're about to pick up another win here tonight.
They've put together a very professional performance tonight. They didn't let the emotion get the best of them. They've stayed pretty tuned in. Not a lot of silly fouls. They've killed the game well. You're going to have to do a lot to beat this team. They're not going to give it to you, which is a sign of a really special group.
5 minutes was the added time. We're now almost 7 minutes into stoppage time. Of course, there has been a little bit of time wasting here so far. Swartz takes this throw, goes all the way back to Tambakis in New Mexico. They've got to get moving here. What could be the final opportunity of the night. Swartz. And Swartz plays the cross over everyone's head. And that is the full-time whistle here at the Lab. El Paso extend the winning streak to 7 straight. The unbeaten streak reaches 9 as Locomotive come into the Lab and walk away with a 1-0 win. That is the goal scorer, Dennis Kastishin, at the bottom of your picture. Coach, your thoughts on tonight's match?
You know, sometimes you just have to tip your hat to somebody. And I think when you have a team that's on a roll the way they are, you can see them playing with confidence, and they brought it here tonight. And kudos to them for coming in front of 11,000 people and getting a great road win for El Paso.
That is Kalen Ryden. He's our man of the match, brought to you by Pepsi here tonight. Had 6 clearances at 100% success dribble rate. He is the co-captain here of this team. And for our play of the match, it was Alex Tambakis with his multiple saves. Alex Tambakis also taking home the save of the match, brought to you by Invigorate Roofing. Play of the match brought to you by Bud Light, as Alex Tambakis played his butt off here tonight.
He did, and I also thought his distribution from the back was really special for him. He put a couple balls forward that gave us a chance to get forward early.
He's going to be disappointed with the result, but New Mexico, they'll go again next weekend. As we're going to take a quick break, we'll be back to button things up here. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the USL Championship on ESPN+.
The estimated hold time is now 96 minutes.
Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold.
From day one, REDW has been an integral partner, the first companies to say yes to the crazy idea of this soccer team that we all love. Because of REDW's belief, support, and expert financial guidance, United is in a better place today. Their focus on community-first initiatives is perfectly aligned with United's ethos. When they say integrity counts, they mean it, and we are forever grateful and thrilled to be partnered with REDW.
When you get proven quality at lower than
Full time here at the Lab. Tonight's Duke City Cares final score 1-0. El Paso Locomotive victorious here in the 505. Unbeaten at the Lab since 2019 are the Locos, which is no small feat. And let's go ahead and jump into the full-time stats. Let's see how this one played out. And well, Coach, you shoot 12 times. You're bound to get 1 to go. New Mexico only able to muster 3 shots here tonight. Just one of those finding the frame.
Not a lot of really solid chances on frame for either team.
Right.
And I think the one that, El Paso did get that they put away was the game difference. And when you have that, it's hard to argue with. But 12-3, they probably deserve more opportunities to get that one that went in.
Let's go ahead and look at our full-time highlights here, brought to you by Ferguson Law Firm. And there was a whole lot of shots in the first half. No goals. Let's go ahead and have a look at how things started off here. It was Armando Moreno early, and that, if you would have showed a New Mexico United fan as the first highlight in the first minute, you probably would have thought things were going to go quite differently here tonight.
Yeah, first few minutes, very dangerous, threatening in behind that space, and some decent opportunities on frame, and some given us to by the El Paso keeper who cleaned up his game as the game went on.
Yeah, Benny Diaz notching the clean sheet here tonight on the road, and that may have been New Mexico's potentially best attempt, as Ryden was just inches off of the cross. As we now get a look at the lone goal scored of the evening. Boretti sends the cross in, and Kastishin in between Ryden and Yearwood, finding the back of the net.
It's a whole lot easier not to make that run. It's a whole lot easier just to say, hey, that's not a great service. But to run through two people, especially someone like Kalen Ryden who's so good in the box, it's a decision. And he deserves the goal from the effort.
And so that was the deciding goal. Alex Tambakis unable to react in time. And so El Paso victorious here tonight. And so New Mexico will turn their attention to Tampa Bay as they're headed out to Al Lang Stadium for the first time in club history to take on the Rowdies next Saturday. Following that, the club will be back here June 17th against RGV. It's Juneteenth. Make sure to jump on to SeatGeek. Get your tickets for that if you haven't yet. 3 more matches coming up here at the Lab in June. So make sure to get on out here. And so that's going to do it for all of us here tonight. For Gary Williams, our director, Heather Dyke on color, thank you for joining me, Coach. My name is Tyler Ortega. Thank you for watching.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.